Hello and welcome into part 2 of my gaming retro review. This review being about controllers. You join me for my first part of my review. I hope you liked it. Of course, the first one. I can't show you my ZX Spectrum controllers because they're completely packed in a box somewhere, and quite hard to get to. So I'm going to go to the next best thing. NES controller, awesome. Yes, B and A, or A and B. No, it's B and A. Why do they have it B and A? Why not A B? I never realised. I never worked that out. Classic controller, select and start. Or isn't it start and select now? Is controllers backwards? So yeah, the D-pad. Gaming's best D-pad, possibly. You can't go wrong with this. Although if you're holding it. I can't do this one-handed. If you're holding it, it kind of digs in. You can see that it digs into your hand quite a bit. Not great. So I only use this for like short periods. I don't use it for ages. I can't like go on a game for hours. I can't like play Bionic Commando for hours. It just doesn't work. So yeah, it's a classic controller. People have turned these into belts because they're so classic. So they are kind of an icon in gaming. Most controllers seem to have copied the idea. The Game Boy, I know it was Nintendo still, but the Game Boy had the kind of same. It had exactly the same setup because it just worked. Until analog came along. So yeah. I dropped the camera there. Oh, that's not good. Gotta stop doing that. As you know, I'm recording this on the iPod Touch 4th generation, the new one that's came out recently. I don't know if I'll be able to upload these in HD. Probably I'll have to upload them in standard definition because it takes up a lot of time trying to upload these in high definition. It took nearly 4 hours for me to do the one yesterday, and I actually gave up halfway through. But yeah. Next controller, which would be, there we go, because I've got all the wires here. I've got all my controllers kind of, like a pile. Falls over. I've got the Batarang. No, I've got. It looks a bit like the Batarang. Of course, Sega Mega Drive controller. Awesome controller. A, B, and C. That's how it's supposed to be. A, B. See, A and B. And start. No select on this. D-pad. Awesome. One of the best. Of course. NES being almost exactly the same. Although I could never get past the second level on Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the chemical plant level. Although I used my PSP yesterday and played it on the Mega Drive Collection, and I was able to get past it with no cinch at all. So I'm thinking maybe the D-pad isn't as responsive as it once was. It kind of feels... yeah, I kind of feel spongy. Next controller is the N64 controller, one of my most hated gaming controllers of all time. I'm sorry guys, but I absolutely hate this controller. Apart from, I think that my first ever kind of experience with this controller was I went around my cousin's house and he was playing Turok. That's cool. I like the trigger. Everything else about this controller sucks. But it just does. They were trying to put too much on the controller at once. Yeah, that works fine, but if you're trying to... I mean, I'm holding this as I would be if I was playing, apart from my other hand being there, obviously. But it's a stretch to get this analog stick. It really is, and I have fairly big hands. It's not exactly like they're small. It also has L and R. I think this was the first gaming console to have L and R, actually, thinking about it. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, absolutely hate that controller. It kind of put me off playing the N64. Next is Dreamcast. Not any better really for me. It's slightly better. You can hold it a lot easier. It has kind of love handles on the back here. It kind of, yeah, it's kind of cool. And it has 2 triggers. Kind of, sorry, it's wired up here. Kind of keeps it from getting tangled with the rest of the controllers. Dreamcast controller. I also have the VMU, but that's gone somewhere. I don't know where that's gone. I did have the VMU for it. Sorry, some shoddy camera work here. Woo. D-pad. I have no stand for this iPod. That's why I've got to get a kind of camera stand thing for it. Because you can actually get pre-made ones that are actually made for the iPod and the iPhones. Yeah, not the greatest controller. I hate playing what was it, Quake on it. I absolutely hate it. I'd rather play it on PC. Next on my list is GameCube. GameCube controller. Better, a hell of a lot better than the N64 one. I like this controller. It's not my favourite, but it's good. I like the big A button in the middle there. It's not exactly like you can miss that one. It's pretty damn huge. This stick kind of fell off. I don't know what was up with that. I don't know why they made it kind of hexagonal. Kind of weird. Also has triggers. I like the triggers on this. You kind of goes round your finger, the controller. Has a nice feel to it as well. Apart from that button, which I didn't like, it was kind of clicky. I'm sorry, I'm ranting at game controllers here. The D-pad, way too small. It's just way too small. I don't know what they did, seeing as they're the ones who created the D-pad in some ways. Okay, then we go on to I actually have the original. I have an Xbox original console, but this is an Xbox original game console controller. Not obviously the first one. The first one was bloody humongous, but this one's kind of the redesigned one, which to me feels a lot like the 360 controller. Apart from the fact there's no black and white anymore. I think that's kind of what turned into R1 and R2. No, R1 and L1, or RB and LB. Yeah, great controller. Absolutely love it. I have an Xbox, but I couldn't get it out because it's kind of lost. And then my all-time favourite has to be the DualShock. It just has to be. It's my most played console. PS2 is my most played console, and this never let me down. Okay, sometimes the analog stick will kind of break through that plastic surround there, but very rarely. And sometimes the R2 button will fall out. But this is actually a brand new one. I got this on eBay, brand new in the box, a couple of weeks ago, because I really missed playing the PS2, and I thought, well, I haven't got any controllers that worked. I've gone through quite a lot of PS2 controllers, but the design is perfect. It's probably my favourite of all-time gaming controllers. There's nothing wrong with it. D-pad feels good, and it was analog switch. You didn't really need that, seeing as most games were analog back then anyway. They kind of got rid of that, thankfully, in the PS3. Nothing wrong with that controller at all. And last but not least is, I talked about this a couple of days ago, is the Halo Reach controller, Xbox 360. Also one of my favourites. Just you can't just say anything bad about this controller. It works fine. It's just grip. It's a great controller. Got your D-pad. D-pad's that is something actually. The D-pad is not brilliant. Not the best. Thankfully, they're kind of redesigning it, but what's the point, seeing as the next next Xbox will probably be out in 2 years? You know, I just stick with this. Probably. I'm not saying probably. I'm not saying there's going to be a new 360. Oh god, I'm the first person on YouTube that's going to say there's going to be this Xbox 720. This is slightly redesigned, of course, from the original. Oh crap, I just turned on my Xbox. Let's unplug this. My Xbox is just turned on. That's the wonders of wireless there for you. Great controller, overpriced, as I said in my video. £49 for a controller. Or was it 39? 39 for a controller. It's insane. I don't know. They don't seem to sell wired ones anymore. I actually stupidly, I wanted to buy a wired one, because I hate having to bloody put batteries in it. I just wanted something I could plug in and play instead of having to go downstairs and find batteries. So yeah, they don't seem to sell those anymore here, anyway. In my city of Salisbury. Although I do like the designs on this, it's pretty cool. Property of UNSC. So if you're a fan of Halo, you need this controller. If you're not, don't buy it. Thank you for watching my second part of my video. Please comment, subscribe, and give love, you know, guys. Come on, like me. I hopefully be giving you a review of the PSP Go next Monday when I get it. I will actually probably unbox it on YouTube, which is my first ever unboxing, proper unboxing. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for watching, guys. See you later.